So yesterday we basically learned about creating production ready Docker file by using multi-stage build. Today we'll do CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Actions. So our basically end goal is going to be when every time when we will push our code to GitHub, the code is tested automatically, the Docker image is built, that image is pushed to the Docker hub, and later on it will be deployed automatically to the cloud platforms like AWS, EC2, right? So what CI/CD actually means? We have heard CI/CD term like a lot of time, like you need to create CI/CD pipeline, CI/CD is efficient, but what actually is CI/CD? So CI/CD is actually made up of two words, that is CI and CD. It basically means continuous integration and continuous deployment or delivery. So continuous integration basically means that on every push of your code to GitHub, the tests are run, the image is built, and if there are any kind of bugs, they are basically catched at early stage. Continuous deployment basically means that the image is automatically pushed to the Docker hub, and the image is deployed to the server or cloud. So this is what CI/CD basically means. Now, in order to perform CI/CD pipeline, you need to have these prerequisites. You need to create a GitHub repository, then a Docker file, and a Docker hub account. So let me quickly take you to the github.com, and here actually I have created a repository. If not, you could create a repository by clicking on this plus new repository, give name of your repository as you want. So here actually I have created one repository named this fast API CI/CD. So this is the repository that I have created. After that, you need to create an account on Docker hub. So search Docker hub on browser and click this link. So actually I have done sign in with Google, and when you do sign in with Google, this screen opens on your browser, right? And from here you can navigate options like my profile, account settings and all, right? So let's get back to this noteboard. um, After that, this is the folder structure that we need to create, where we will create a small project with these files, and this is the important folder that we need to create, because without this folder CI/CD pipeline will not be created. So this .github folder is important, right? So now, after this folder structure, the fourth step is basically create GitHub secrets, right? So these GitHub secrets will needed when we will basically write a Docker YML file, and we'll need this Docker username and a password for that thing, so that uh, it would basically push the image in Docker hub. That's the reason you need Docker username and password. Now how you can get this Docker username and password? So let's again get back to the Docker hub, and here you need to do one thing. Go to account settings, and in account settings go to the personal access tokens and generate a new token. And in order to generate new token, you need to put a token description, expiration date, and the access permission will be read and write. So you should create this access token as a password that you'll basically need, and your username is going to be this that you will create during signing it with Google, right? But I have already created this access token, so there is no need to create a new token, right? After that, you need to go to the GitHub and you need to go to the repository that you have created, which is this fast API CI/CD. Then click on settings. Now here we need that Docker username and password that you should put in these secrets and variables. So click these options, that is secrets and variables, and select actions, and this window will appear in front of your screen. So here there will be an option if there is no repository secrets. Here there will be an option that is click on new repository secret, click on it, give the name as Docker username, and the secret will be over here, right? And add the secret. I have added username and password, so there is no need to add add the things again, right? So you guys add this username and password in this secrets and variables. And the one thing is that for every repository you need to add secrets and variables. So yeah, this is the thing. Now let's get back to the noteboard, and as we have added the create GitHub secrets and all, now there is time to create CI/CD pipeline. But before that, let's create the folder structure over here. So let me take you to the terminal, and here we'll create one folder. Let's create a folder name fast API CI/CD, and let's check whether it's created or not. So yeah, here you can see it's created. Now let me go to fast API CI/CD. Now I need to create certain files, which is main.py, then requirements dot txt. I'll need requirements.txt, then a docker file, I need docker file, then docker ignore, right? Now let's check whether it's created or not. So yeah, it's created. And if you want to see hidden files, you can see by ls and a flag. So here you can see the 4 files we have created over here. Now in this particular folder you need to create another folder named github.github, and let's check. .github folder is created. Now I'll need to go inside that .github folder. We are inside .github folder. Now we need to create another folder named workflows, and let's go inside the workflows, and let's create one file that is docker.environment. Yes, now we have created the folder structure that we want for this project. Now let's open VS Code, and let's wait for a few seconds until it's opened. Let's open the folder that we actually want, which is a fast API CI/CD. Yeah, this folder that we created, and yeah, there you go, it's opened. Let me simply magnify it so that it's visible. So here you can see the files that we just created, and this is needed if you want to perform a CI/CD pipeline. Now let's basically fill all these files. So let's first start with requirements.txt, as it's going to be the fast API app. Let's add fast API and ubicon, right? And inside main.py we'll write from fast API import fast API, then app fast API, and let's write this app.get this, let's write one function, root function, basically root, and here you will need to give one message basically will be welcome to the CI CD tutorial, right? So we have completed this main.py as well. Now let's create the docker file. A docker file will be simple, not production level docker file. Let's basically create a docker file for the example purpose, which will be this from Python. We'll basically use pre-built Python image, which is this. Then let's give work directory, this is /app. Now we need to copy requirements dot txt, right, to the working directory, and we need to run command, that is run pip install, that is no cache dir. So as we don't want the cache of pip install, that's the reason. Then this r flag, requirements dot txt. After that we need to copy all the codes to the working directory, right? And after that you need to do one thing, that is you need to expose the port. This is for documentation purpose, and here you need to run the command, which is going to be uvcon, then host, which is 0.0.0.0. It basically means that open to all network interfaces. Then the port, which is 8000. So basically let me check if all the commands are correct or not. So basically let's basically see that all the commands are correct or not. So we basically define this pre-built image, work directory is set, requirements are copied, then we basically run this, and we also did no cache dir. We copied all the code from this folder to this directory. We exposed the port, and we also run this command, this. But there is one thing we actually missed, and that is main app. So this is the command that you need to put over here. So so we basically wrote our docker file, right? And as you have followed many videos, so there is no need to explain all the thing in this file, because it's pretty much easy now, right? So now let's go to the docker ignore, and let's ignore the things that will basically don't need to expose in GitHub, right? Which will be, as of now it will be of GitHub, that is .github. So this folder is not needed to be kept inside the GitHub. So yeah, so we also completed the docker ignore. Now you need to complete this docker YAML. So let me simply take you back to the noteboard and try to explain you what we will write inside the docker YAML file, right? So basically what is this CI/CD pipeline file, which is a docker.yml. So inside the docker.yml, basically this is all the main code which will be needed in order to perform CI/CD pipeline, or in order to create CI/CD pipeline. So the first line basically means name docker CI. So this line is just for UI purpose, means when you will view on GitHub Actions, you'll see the name as docker CI for that purpose, right? So basically it's just for documentation purpose. Then after that on basically means that what actions will make this pipeline triggered. So these are the two actions, which is push, when we will push the code to the branches, when we will push the code on main branch, then this action will be triggered, or the jobs will be triggered. And when we will pull the request, when we will pull, there will be a pull request from the main branch. At that time these jobs will run. Now let's come inside these jobs and let's see what actually it is. So basically this is the main code. Now build actually means that what GitHub Actions does is that GitHub Actions provides you with the new or latest virtual machine, and on that virtual machine, which is the operating system that virtual machine has is Ubuntu's latest version. So GitHub Actions provides us provides us with virtual machine, and on virtual machine there is Ubuntu latest, right? So all the files or folders will run on that virtual machine. After that, these are the steps that will basically run. So the first is checkout code. So this name is for naming, so that the you will basically understand. So for that reason, that is the reason why we have given name as checkout code. So this checkout code that performs actions slash checkout at the rate v4 or version 4. So what this does is that this creates a clone of your code on to the virtual machine, right? So consider it as creating code on the virtual machine, right? Or like creating clone of your repository on virtual machine. Basically GitHub Actions does that thing automatically. After that, setting up a Docker buildx file. So this is for building up your Docker file for multi-caching, for multi-stage builds, and for the purpose to make your file more efficient. Like it makes your build faster, and it's responsible for caching, like how we are doing in this file, which is this Docker file, how this is the pre-caching of the requirements. So for that reason, this is setting up the Docker buildx. After that, as we want to push our image into the Docker hub, for that reason we'll basically need the username and password. So basically it uses a login action. So basically Docker does this. When the code is pushed to the GitHub, when the code is pushed to the GitHubs, it reads the secrets and variables where we have created Docker username and password, and based on that it tries to log in to your account on like a Docker hub. It tries to log into the Docker hub, and it tries to push the image over there by using this code. After that, this is the final thing where the image is basically built and which is pushed to the Docker hub. It uses build push action, context a dot. So consider context a dot as docker build dot. What it does is that it builds the image. Push is true. When it is set to true, it basically means that build the image and at the same time push the image to the Docker hub. If this is set as false, it builds the image but it does not push the code to the Docker hub. So that's the reason writing true is necessary over here. And now the tags. So tags basically means that it basically takes your username and the name of the image. This is the name of the image and the latest. Now consider this as how we used to do, that is docker build t tag for tags, then name of the image and dot to build the image, right? So same as that this does, but it's more automated, right? So this was all for this file, which is a docker YML file, right? So I hope you understood this. Now let's try to complete our docker YML file. So here you'll basically need name as docker ci, which is for documentation purpose. Now on, so it basically means that what actions will trigger this pipeline, and the actions will be pushing the code. Branches will be main branch and pull request. Yes, pull request, it will trigger it. Now jobs, so jobs it has is first build. It will basically runs on Ubuntu latest, right? And now let's give steps that it needs to perform. So the first step is basically checkout code, means creating clone of your code in virtual machine, which is automatically done by the virtual machine itself. Just a second, it's this, and it basically uses actions slash checkout @version 4. Now another thing that is needed, which is setting up Docker buildx, which is for caching and multi-stage build. So it basically uses Docker setup buildx actions. The version of it will be v3. After that, login. Then we need to log in to Docker Hub, that basically uses Docker login action @version 3 with username. I hope you remember how we have put the Docker username to the secrets and variables, right? So it takes from secrets the name as we given it as Docker username, right? And for password we have put the access token that we created from the Docker Hub, so which is secrets dot docker password, right? Now after that, what we need to do is that we need to create for build and push Docker image, right? Which basically uses Docker slash build push action @version 3, sorry, version 5, and with context is going to be this. Basically means the consider this as a Docker build dot, basically means considering this a Docker file. It basically takes the context from this Docker file, and then we'll need to set push as true in order to push it to the Docker Hub, and tags, which will be secrets dot docker username slash name of the image that we want, which is fast API fast API app and latest. So we have written this docker.yml, right? Let's check it with this. So yeah, everything is correct until we get any kind of error, so we'll see at that time. But I have written the docker.yml. Now let's do one thing. We'll go to the GitHub. Let's go to the repositories that we have created, which is fast API CI/CD, and let's copy this SSH. Yes, it's copied. Now let's go to the Visual Studio Code and let's go to the terminal. Now here we'll basically push this our entire code to GitHub, right? And but before that, as I said that earlier, that Docker Hub is actually the GitHub for Docker images. So basically here it's actually same as how we do on GitHub. So you need to click on Actions, and here you will watch your pipeline live, right? So let's go to the VS Code and terminal. Now let's init. Let's do git init. Then we need to add all the code. We'll then commit. Let's put message as initial commit, right? Now here you can see all the things that are added, but yeah, I hope this folder is not actually put inside the GitHub, right? So after that we need to add git remote add. We'll need to basically add the origin, and here let's paste the SSH URL that we have basically copied, and let's click on enter. The origin is added. Here you can see remote v. Here you can see the origin is added. Now you need to simply push origin main, and let's hit enter. Let me check. Now if I push git push origin main, yeah, there you go. It has been added because you need to simply change the branch. Yeah, so it's basically added. If we'll click on this, one workflow run, now let's get back to this. Let's again click on Actions, which is another, and let's check the build. Now here you can see Docker file is set up. Log in to Docker Hub. We build, and we are building and pushing the Docker image. Here you can see all the pipeline which is running, and we have logged in to the Docker Hub. We have post setup Docker buildx and all. This is the post checkout code and complete job. So our CI/CD pipeline has successfully run, and we have deployed our image to the our Docker Hub, and this build is successful. These three builds that we did failed because we made some silly mistakes, which was this here not giving space, and here we have written actions instead of action. So don't make these mistakes, right? And here, as you have seen the pipeline, how it basically did all these things and all, right? Now if we go to our repositories, let's click on my profile and let's check whether we have an image or not. So here you can see the image is been uploaded to, or which is pushed to our Docker hub, right? So this is the image that we basically created of fast API. Now we can pull this image in our local and we can run this. So in order to do that, what you need to do is that run this command docker pull name of the username, which is this, to it, and then you need to give fast API app at the rate, sorry, latest, and hit enter. Now it's pulling from this account and it's downloading. Now you can click on Docker images and here you can see the fast API app. The size of it is 142 MB. Now so if I go to the browser and click on localhost, yes, so here you can see our fast API container is running on our local browser and it says welcome to CI/CD tutorial. So yeah, this is how we actually run our container. So this was all for today's video. We have successfully created our CI/CD pipeline, right? We wrote this Docker YML code. We basically visualized all our CI/CD pipeline. It pushed our Docker image in this our Docker hub, and we basically pulled that image. Here you can see pulse is 11, and we basically run this on our local host, and here you can see welcome to the CI/CD tutorial. So this was it from my side, and in further video, in next video, we'll basically host it to a cloud platform like AWS, right? So this was it from my side. Like, share and subscribe if you liked this video, and till then, happy coding.